Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hansen, I once had a mentor who told me that hope is not a business plan. I would also say it's not a good technology development plan. In your testimony, you noted that the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act requires NHTSA to complete rulemaking for advanced impaired driving technology, aka automotive kill switch, by November of last year, a deadline that the agency has not met. I made a prediction in front of this committee, and I'm going to make it again today, that this won't be ready by 2026. Congress has asked the impossible. It's a wish. It's not a plan. Are you aware that Ann Carlson, the former acting administrator of NHTSA, sat in front of this subcommittee and said, "I think it's safe to say that we do not think they are available yet in a way that actually will achieve the goals both of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Vehicle Safety Act." Did you hear her make that comment?
Mr. Chair, members, I don't remember that specific comment, sir.
So are you aware that the technology that you are advocating for in your testimony does not exist?
NHTSA released their early rulemaking process in March of 2024. There was a deadline in late 2024 for them to have a proposal ready to go, and that has gone by or expired. NHTSA has also been working with the DDADS program since about 2008, which is the early precursor for the HALT Act, or that the technology in car that would prevent an impaired driver from operating that vehicle. My understanding is that that DDADS project is now ready to go and could be implemented in 2025, and the OEMs have been involved in the development of that.
Well, before airbags were mandated and before seat belts were mandated, they both existed in commercial vehicles for over a decade. Does this technology exist in any commercial vehicle presently?
I'm not aware of it being, Mr. Chair and members, I'm not aware of it being available or mandated in any vehicle type now, but I would compare it to ignition interlock. That type of technology is there in one shape, form, or another.
Well, the difference between the ignition interlock and this technology you're advocating for is the one you're advocating for is science fiction presently. It doesn't exist in any vehicle. It's never been implemented. And there's a mandate by the government to have it in every new vehicle within 2 years. It's just not practical. What's more is if you did try to implement it, there would be false positives. So what we're talking about here is a kill switch in an automobile that would monitor the driving of a vehicle and then stop the vehicle from operating if the car itself decides that the operator is not driving safely. Let's say a mother is driving a vehicle, taking her kids to work, and how does she appeal her conviction of a disabled minivan from the side of a road? How would you re-enable a car that's been disabled with this technology you're advocating for?
It's a good question, sir, Mr. Chair, members. Good question, and I'm not quite sure that I'm qualified to provide the technical answer that you're looking for there. I do understand that the technology is very near to being developed that would allow for a passive type of system that would detect when a driver has an alcohol concentration above a predetermined level, and that would not allow the vehicle to be operated.
Well, the problem with the technology is it's not looking for alcohol levels. You can monitor blood alcohol levels, at least if somebody's breathing into something. That's not what this technology promises to do. In fact, it says it's going to passively monitor driver performance. What does that mean?
Mr. Chair and members, my understanding is that it doesn't require any active participation by the driver, like an ignition interlock system would. It simply is a system that exists within the vehicle platform that would detect when a driver has a predetermined alcohol concentration or is above that predetermined alcohol concentration. So this is primarily focusing on preventing an impaired driving incident from happening before it does.
The specification hopes to do that, but the technology does not exist. It simply doesn't exist. And what's more is if it did exist, there's some cost associated with developing it. maybe an autonomous vehicle could perform this, but what does an autonomous vehicle cost? And whenever we're looking at safety, as an engineer, what you need to look at is where's your bang for the buck? If this system, assuming it could exist, costs $5,000, you can't simply mandate it and say you're going to improve safety, because the price of the vehicle can't go up $5,000. You're going to compromise somewhere else, maybe less metal in the frame or something. So I think it's foolhardy for you to sit here and testify that we need to have this technology available on this timeline, because it simply does not exist. We don't know the cost. We don't know how it works. And there would be false positives that could put the public at danger. And with that, I yield back.